stories of the men who are the guardians of the law. Their motto, maintain the right. Stories of their courage. Stories of their lives filled with hazard, romance, and adventure. The RCMP story this week.
Yes, I'm listening to CBC, and they're reporting about that big-ass summit that Mr. Obama's having down in Washington, and everybody and his dog's there, and they're worried about depleted uranium, plutonium, and all that, and possibility of making nuclear weapons. Sounds like a good idea, but it begs the obvious question. If I understand what I read here, there, and everywhere, didn't the Americans use depleted uranium in their bombs and bullets in Iraq? Didn't the Israelis use that crap in their munitions in Gaza? Why on earth would our Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, if he wasn't a lapdog for crooked Yankees, give our fissionable material out of Chalk River to the Americans for safekeeping? We all know they'll just turn it into some other kind of weapon that's, they'll say isn't nuclear, but it will be depleted uranium or whatever to mess people up in other ways. And then they'll sell it to their Israeli friends after they give them the money to buy it from their defense industry. As far as I'm concerned, the fissionable material should be buried deep underground in the country that created that bad stuff in the first place. They should be responsible for keeping their messes secure. Now, Harper looks at it as a way to get rid of a problem, to make the Crown's nuclear industry look good. No doubt the people in New Brunswick will want to get rid of the stuff down at La Pro, down in the States too. But isn't that kind of like handing the devil the ammunition, and pretty soon the Americans will have the whole world's fissionable material cornered? I'm kind of interested what the Chinamen and the Russians have to say about that, but I don't hear of anything reported on CBC. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Like with that colonel I was torturing, Pearson, how he quoted Ignatieff and Alan Dershowitz about torture, and then I hear what the diplomat testified before his commission or panel or whatever Harper had appointed today. I just shake my head. I just wonder how much munitions with depleted uranium has been chucked around in Afghanistan. I don't know. It's strange days in this whole world, but to let the Americans corner the market on fissionable material, I don't think it's wise. I think that we should take care of our own garbage. We created it. We should be responsible enough to make sure that it never bothers another soul ever in the future. It should go deep underground or whatever in our our shield, deep in bedrock, so that nobody gets it, especially not evil Yankees. Now that Colonel Pearson that supported the malevolent actions in Guantanamo back in 2004, he has a lot on his plate as he tries to make a judgment about Afghanis torturing prisoners our people captured. I'll be very interested in his take on the scene, but I just hope nobody starts a war with Iraq in the meantime. I mean, this is beyond crazy. Obama's Vice President Biden is a well-known Zionist supporter. Mr. Bacon Fat hates me more than lots of folks hate bacon. I'm honored that he hates me. I wish somebody would speak up. CBC's a crown corporation. They should report all sides of it. I heard the guys from Plowshare speak up, and Plowshares have ignored me and made fun of me for 7-8 years. Even Mr. Bacon Fat said that Bill Robinson of Plowshares is my handler. Yeah, he said it was a corporal in the RCMP, but the only Bill Robinson in the RCMP was the boss of Manitoba. The Bill Robinson he was referring to is the guy that keeps dogging the CSE, and everybody knows it. Bill Robinson is too chicken to answer emails, return phone calls. Plowshare, they're just nasty to me. Seems everybody has their own agenda, and it's based on greed. Greedy, greedy people. I see that young liberal there, Shawnee Baby Graham, whose daddy was in the Nuclear Power Commission or whatever the hell they call it. They talk about conflict of interest about ATCOM. What about his daddy in LaPro? What about Francis McGuire and all his drilling buddies wanting to root around for uranium? Everybody forgets the issue. There's a hot issue of the day, and then it's quickly forgot. But I know one thing. You put depleted uranium in a munition shell, spread it around a populated neighborhood like in Gaza, it kind of hangs around for thousands of years and makes for strange looking babies. And those babies didn't deserve that spread around in their future neighborhoods. I'm kind of glad to be alive in these times, and kind of sad too. Ignatieff is no better than Harper. I keep saying that. Jack Layton, he'll go whichever way the wind blows. Elizabeth May's in it for the money only. The Action Party, they're too busy following Alex Jones. Now there's a Pied Piper if there ever was one. Yeah, they got rid of that moldy guy and that Kemp arsehole down in Nova Scotia, but they got lots of more people. I'll tell about that later, but I don't know. I don't know. I just had to say what I was thinking. As far as protocols and what to do with fissionable material, I heard CBC report that even if we did give it out of Chalk River, it would take something like 8 years to move it. We could be through 2-3 more minority governments by then. Maybe Frank McKenna of the Carlisle Group will be Prime Minister someday, and he'll have a powwow with his Bilderberger buddies first, and they'll figure out how to paint toys in China with it. They're all crazy. All crazy. A friend of mine told me she's the only good Indian is a silent Indian. Well, I don't agree with that. There was another wise old Indian called Black Elk. And back in the 30s, before he died, that old man had seen a lot. And he said, we're in a time of great sadness. Man, that old man is right. I'm not as old as he got to be, but young Stephen Harper and young Sean Graham, and hell, our ambassador in Washington is a NDP premier. But I'd like to know what's going through that little bugger's mind. I'm just rambling here. It's beyond crazy. Mr. Harper invited me to sue him. Yeah, I will. I'll sue the Crown. Federal court. Cost me $2 to file. In case anybody didn't notice me, I was in Fredericton today. Dan Broussard should check his cameras. I have rights under the charter. See you in court.
Thank you. Here endeth the lesson.